Hello, my name is John Wheeler and I'm going to show you how to use a Flask extension that I developed called Flask-Ask to write Amazon Echo apps really fast. So the first thing is to install it. Pip install Flask-Ask, and then I'll open up my script, and I've got some boilerplate code that I'm just going to add that basically imports Flask and creates an application. And from this, I'm going to import my extension from the ext namespace. Okay. And if you've used a Flask extension before, then it's typical to basically pass in the application object to the constructor of the extension. And my extension exposes a decorator. It exposes a few of them, and one of them is called intent. There's also a launch and session ended decorator, but the intent decorator, it allows you to map an Alexa request, intent request, to a Python function. It's actually a Flask view function, and I'll show you how to configure that on the Echo side or on the Alexa side in a minute. And I'll just say okay, and so there's my program. And the second piece of developing locally with Flask-Ask, one thing that makes it really nice is a program called ngrok, and I have it open. It's ngrok.com, and it's a free program that you can download, and it opens a secure tunnel to your machine. And what that means is it basically exposes an HTTPS endpoint that the Alexa service can send requests to, and it will forward them to your local host through a secure tunnel. I've actually already downloaded this program, so I'm going to run my script, and in a new window I'm going to open up ngrok, and you tell it the protocol and the port that your application is listening on, and since I'm running Flask, it defaults to port 5000. So what that will do is it opens up these tunnels, and you can see that they're basically just right to localhost, and we have this HTTPS endpoint that we can configure on the Alexa side, and I'll show how to do that now. What I'll do is I'll name this hello, and we'll activate it by saying hello. And the intent schema I'm just going to copy and paste, as well as the utterances. Okay, and so here's where we can take that endpoint and paste it in with one modification. We have to add this path to the end / underscore ask, and you can configure that with Flask-Ask, but that is the Flask view function that is being exposed to the Alexa service. This is not going to use account linking. It's really important on this part to choose the second option, which is that the development endpoint uses a wildcard SSL certificate. That's what ngrok will use for us. And now we can test it. So I'll give it a shot. Alexa, volume 6. Alexa, tell hello, hello.
Hello, world from Flask-Ask.
So you can see that worked right away on the first time. I'm glad it did. And also on the console, one of the features is that it pre-prints the JSON request if you have that turned on, and you can see the request and the response both, so it makes debugging a little bit easier, but you can also disable that. And so now, just to finish up, I'll just change the code real quick, and it will say goodbye, and we'll just see what that does. Alexa, tell hello, hello.
Goodbye from Flask-Ask.